is just doing it legally now, and that's why none of its people are testing positive. Juan Manuel Marquez, no, impossible?
No, because they don't have any testing. What testing is Juan Manuel Marquez doing?
Well, I don't know. I mean, didn't he get tested in Vegas?
Well, that's about tapering off and just, you have to be dumb. That's IQ testing. That's not drug testing.
I see. So, these Olympic athletes, they're all tested, correct?
Well, even that's relatively easy to circumvent.
How's that?
Well, let's just, you want me to explain exactly how you can beat the testing?
Let's pretend I'm Usain Bolt. Fucking awesome. I'm in the Olympics.
Okay.
What do you got to do now?
Here's the way it works. Here's the way it works, and this is the big loophole. You get 2 missed tests in any given 18-month period as an Olympic athlete. So it's just like getting a speeding ticket on your driving record. So here you are, you have a whereabouts form. You fill it out and you say, I'm going to be at training center X, and you don't go there. You go to training center Y. Well, the odds are, I've calculated about 25 to 1 that they're not going to go to that training center. But even if they do, the worst scenario is, it's like being up to bat in an American baseball game. Strike 1. Does that mean you're out? They don't disclose that. Nobody gets told that.
So if you go and you win the Olympics and you test positive for a steroid, it's just a strike? They just bury it?
No, I don't mean positive. I'm talking about a missed test.
Missed test.
A missed test.
Okay, like you were supposed to take it, but you didn't show up.
You didn't show up. Okay, so that's strike 1.
Okay, that's strike 1.
That's the downside.
Okay.
First of all, there's no transparency, so nobody knows.
Okay, so you missed the test, but you still have to test,
That's
right?
strike 1.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, they don't come right back the next day. What they do is they send you a letter and say, hey, you missed this test, show up at this hearing, and you can give us a reasonable explanation or present exceptional circumstances, or you can argue this, or you get the strike.
This is for the Olympics?
For the Olympics, okay? Then, okay, so you're 6 months out from the Olympics. You do this 2 or 3 times. Maybe they come one time, you get 1 strike. Then you do it again, and they come, and they're really targeting you now, so they come back a second time. And you're not there, and it's strike 2, right? You go to the Olympics, you win the gold medal, you cash in, you get all the endorsement money. Well, the time is rolling.
How many days could it possibly be?
Well, the whole period of time, you can't have 3 tests in any given 18-month period. You can have 2. Otherwise, they suspend your license. Well, once you've got 2 missed tests, you cannot take any more chances in terms of using drugs until the oldest missed test falls off your record, just like a ticket on your driving record. Make sense?
So when you know that you're positive, you just miss your tests.
You make yourself unavailable.
Jesus Christ. What happened with what's her name? The tennis player. What are the girls' names, the big ones? Well, Serena Williams and the other one. One of them, they came to her house for a random drug test, so she went in her panic room and called the police. What the fuck?
She didn't give a sample.
That's awesome.
So here's the bottom line. What happened?
Yeah.
Was there any consequence?
I don't know.
She got a missed test that nobody ever knew about.
But
possibly.
That is a tennis thing. I've never heard of that before. Have you ever heard about that before?
This is why they have what they call a whereabouts form. You have to fill these forms out. You can communicate by email, text message. Let them know where you are, and if they decide to show up. But let's put it in perspective. On average, they test about twice a year out of competition, meaning they show up, unexpected. Now, let's not count the times that they test you at a competition. Let's talk about baseball for a minute. They only test these players twice a year. The first test is at training camp. That's announced testing. That's IQ testing. How dumb do you have to be caught then? You just know that the taper time's a certain amount. You go off, you show up, you get your test. Well, if they're not targeting you, and they have no reason to target you, then here's what the guys say. Okay, it's April 1st. By the first week of May, I get my second test. Green light. Let's use all the stuff we like because we already had a second test.
So for 1 month, you play baseball.
Well, until you have your mandatory second test. It could be a month.
And then you just juice to the walls.
Well, let's look at the statistics here. Most of the gains for Olympic athletes and for NFL and Major League Baseball and professional sports, during the off-season, they load up on all kinds of performance-enhancing drugs, including anabolic steroids, and do intensive weight training for 4 or 5 months. And the gains they make, what kind of gains can you make? Tiny Tim Montgomery, that broke the world record with the Project World Record that I talked about earlier. He, in 8 weeks, he came in, he weighed 148. He put on 28 pounds of muscle in 8 weeks. His bench press went from 265 to 345 in 8 weeks. So a lot can be done in 4 or 5 months using powerful drugs. Those gains carry over. So when these athletes are doing all these spectacular things at the Olympic Games, it's not because they're using the drugs at the Olympics or just before the Olympics. They've used them for 5 months during the off season.